Okay, tonight we are reading some more of The Amazing Spider-Man, an origin story.
Dun, 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 dun.
We are up to chapter 6.
Boom.
You've heard about him, and now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the Amazing Spider-Man. Peter walked out on stage. Television cameras moved all around, trying to get the perfect shot of this new character everyone was talking about. So, Spidey, the television host said, can I call you Spidey? Peter, Spider-Man, laughed. I've been called worse. The audience laughed along. Peter was... What was Peter doing? Peter was startled. He'd never had anyone but his aunt and uncle laugh at his jokes before. It felt good. Well, all right, the host said. What are you going to show us? How about this? Peter asked. He walked over to the wall and put one foot on it. Then he walked straight up the wall as though it were just a little hill. He shot a web to the ceiling over the audience's head, then swung right over them. Some screamed, some tried to touch him, and many clapped. Peter hung upside down. He shot a web towards the stage. It hit the water bottle next to the host. Peter gave it a hard pull and the water bottle zipped towards him. He caught it easily and started to take a drink, then stopped. Have to remember to add a mouth to this mask, he said, and the audience laughed again.
Mouth hole.
Oh, it just says mouth. Peter walked across the ceiling, upside down, until he was over the host's desk. Okay, Spider-Man, he heard the producer say, that's enough, don't show him too much. Peter dropped to the stage, gave a short bow and a quick wave and ran off stage. The producer came over as the audience called for more. The producer said, first rule of show business, always leave 'em begging for more. They walked out of the studio and headed for the building's elevator. There he is, someone called. People rushed over. I'm from News Time magazine. We'll pay you anything you want for an interview. No, sign with me. I can get you a movie deal. Wait, please, just a photograph. Peter didn't even slow down. See my agent, folks. I'm busy. So this is fame, Peter thought. This part isn't as great as I thought it'd be. Stop! Stop him! Oh, what now, Peter thought as he pushed the button for the lift. He didn't even look up. He was already getting tired of people asking him for things. If he makes it to the lift, the voice yelled, he'll get away. Peter rolled his eyes. The lift doors opened. A heavy blonde man raced by. Peter watched as he jumped into the lift. Made it, the man yelled. Peter turned to see a police officer running towards them. The cop reached out, but the doors closed too soon. Just before the lift closed all the way, the blonde man looked right at Peter. He nodded gratefully. The policeman punched the closed lift door in frustration. Then he turned to Peter. What's with you, mister? He shouted. All you had to do was trip him, or even just hold him for a second. Sorry, Peter shrugged. That's your job. The cop's face turned red with anger. I ought to arrest you. Chapter 7. When Peter got home that night, his aunt and uncle were waiting for him. Peter, Aunt May said. Peter's heart sank. She looked so serious, standing there with her hands behind her back. So formal. They both did. Did they know about Spider-Man? Could they possibly have found out? Had they seen him on television and recognised his voice? You know, that microscope you've always wanted, she asked. Peter blinked. Your uncle and I bought it for you this afternoon. Aunt May brought her hands out from behind her back and handed the microscope to him. He looked at the microscope. They must have saved for so long, and this gift, for no reason, they just bought it for him because they loved him. That night, lying in bed, Peter thought over the day's events. Aunt May and Uncle Ben, the only ones who've ever been kind to me. His manager had got him a spot on the most popular television shows. Its host was Alan Stevens. Peter was very excited, but things started to go wrong almost right away. When Spider-Man was introduced, Peter walked out onto stage. Also on stage were dozens of big spider dolls. Well, 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 Alan said, so you're really real, the human spider. Peter nodded. Tell me, Alan said, spiders, they're bugs, right? Peter said. He hadn't been expecting this. He thought he would just do some more tricks. Technically, spiders are arthropods. Hey, Alan said, turning to his guests. It not only speaks, it's an educated insect, if that doesn't beat all. The guests laughed. So did the audience. Peter chuckled too, but he felt uneasy. When were they going to get to the tricks? It's not supposed to be like this, he thought. This isn't supposed to be happening. I have these amazing powers. People aren't supposed to make fun of me anymore. So now it's time for a little song and dance, the host said. I think a duet would be good, don't you? The crowd cheered as the singer stood up. Someone handed Peter a microphone. Wait, he said, you want me to sing? But I don't. The band started playing the Itsy Bitsy Spider. Right, Peter thought to himself, even I can sing this song. But suddenly the band started playing faster and the beat was different. The singer smiled sadly at Peter, then started singing a jazzy version of the song. It was the longest 2 minutes of Peter's life. Later, when the show was finally over, Peter tried to slink away. Have a good time? Peter turned around. Alan Stevens was walking towards him. Not quite what you'd expected. Why? Peter asked. Why did you do that? What did I do to you? The host shrugged. Nothing. You didn't do anything to me, or for me, but your agent, now he charged us a fortune to get you on here. He pointed at Peter. You like that part, right? You like the money. Well, Bugman, everything comes with a price. If you want to play with the big boys, you better get tough. That's how it is in this game. As Peter watched him walk away, he thought to himself, everything has a price. Well, I'm not sure I like this game enough to pay that price.